Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again. As you can see behind me, there's a 1990 Fox Body sitting behind me. Let's take a look at this view. That's right, 1990 5.0 Ford Mustang. And let's just take some time to take a look at how awesome this car is. So I just picked this up today, bought it off the interwebs, and as you can see, it's actually it's in decent shape. It's not the prettiest, as you can tell. There's some issues with the paint there. These moldings need to be addressed. Tires are no good. Needs headlight polishing. Bumpers faded. The rest of it is pretty good. The paint isn't too bad on a lot of these panels, which is cool. Let's pop this hood in. As you can see, it's pretty much slammed to the ground. Well, not slammed, it's got racecraft suspension. And I have receipts for all this. It actually has the saline springs. Now, if you're a fan of these Fox bodies, you know that saline was an aftermarket installer, and they did it all. They did that. They would mess with the suspension, change the seats up. These aren't saline seats, but they're like cloth Recaro style seats. Actually pretty comfortable. Does have a short throw shifter, a Tramic 350 trans, again racecraft suspension. Under the hood, just a bone stock 5.0. It is the HO motor. It does have like a cold air intake, but has a carb number. The reason I really like this Mustang, well, not the only reason, but you see it still has all the little VIN tags on all the fenders. On the hood, there's one right there. As you can see, it's a bit rusty everywhere. Just surface rust, really, because it's been sitting since 2008. Little rodent decided to make itself its nest, but it's very solid. Still has all the original stickers everywhere, so at least I know that the front end of this wasn't smashed up. And in the rear, it's got this awesome saline wing. And this isn't real saline wing. I don't know, they make fake saline wings. That is a saline wing. I got the receipt for it. The guy actually kept pretty good receipts of everything. It's got all 4 pony wheels, which isn't anything, spectacular, but they are nice. And the rest of the interior is just in great shape. Other than a little bit of fit and finish stuff, but that can all be fixed. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna see if this thing actually runs. It's got a brand new battery in it, and it's got this gnarly alarm that I gotta disconnect because you really can't do anything when it's when it's connected. Oh yeah, one last thing. This tailgate, for whatever reason, it won't latch, but it does stay up. Check it out. Oh, I also forgot. It's got this gnarly sound system. Let me see if I can show you guys. Check that out. Now, this stuff is old, probably like late 90s, early 2000s stuff. The guy said it worked, so we're gonna take his word for it. But right now, let me get in there. See how that doesn't latch. Let me grab the keys. Try to deactivate this alarm. Alrighty, on the inside, this light, I've never seen a Mustang where this light works. Oh, check that out. That's a cool little, like a spotlight, I guess. And you got your regular dome light right there. Alright, turn my key on. I don't hear my fuel pump running, so that's pretty much telling me that I got a fuel issue. But we're going to go ahead and check that. My check engine light is on, what it's supposed to be. And when you crank it over, so usually if that light stays on, that means that it's not getting a crank signal either. But this is a 90. I don't know if it's the same on this vehicle. Either way, let's check this out. All right, that works. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do there, let me get a light over here so you can see what I'm talking about. So that is my fuel pressure cap. So we'll put our trusty fuel pressure gauge on it. I'm pretty sure it's a fuel pressure, but we must cover all of our basics. All right. So since that has no pressure, we could check. Hold on. Check for spark. Crank it over. Alright. There's spark. Plenty of spark. Alright. So now let's check the wiring. Okay, so I looked it up. And it turns out that the fuel pump relay is under the seat. And I felt down there and I could feel it clicking. So I don't want to pull the seat out to check if I actually have power going to it. So I went straight to the pump. This is the connector that goes to the fuel pump, and it's only 4 pins. So I'm going to probe it right now, and as I cycle the key I should have power, and that if I have power here, pretty much tells me I need the pump. Let me get under there real quick, like. Hold on, get a good ground here somewhere. Where the heck am I gonna get this ground? See, cycle it. Again. Again. Alright, you see how that light comes on? So that's my wiring coming from the relay. So that tells me the relay's okay, power is good to it. So it just needs a pump. Whoa, that is exactly what I did not want to see, everybody. That means the sender probably in the same situation. Let's see, let's pull it out. Yep. It's garbage. Alrighty. So that all needs to be replaced. Yeah, so if that is all over the sender and the pump, the whole inside of the tank has this crud on it. So I'm sure I can get it cleaned, but more than likely I'm gonna get a new tank because it's probably easier. So time to get back on those interwebs, see if I can find me a tank. So as you can tell, it's earlier in the day and looky what I have. Thank God for the good old interwebs. I found a really nice tank with a couple gallons in it of fuel, actually. New fuel pump, well, used sender, but not rusty on the inside. So now that I have this, let's put this on that, in there, and get this sucker to run. Alrighty, fuel pump is in. I just wanted to see the level. Yes, it's cooling. All right, I wanted to make sure that I at least had something in this radiator, and it's cooling. So here in SoCal, you see where they put water instead of coolant because we don't freeze out here. But what coolant also has is anti-corrosion stuff, because one thing that water loves to do is eat aluminum parts. And as you can see, there's a lot of aluminum pieces on this vehicle. So usually the coolant is a lot better at maintaining everything somewhat okay. So let's let's give it a whirl. I'm gonna plug the pump in and see what happens. So as you can see, it's not running as smooth as it should be, almost like it has a little bit of a misfire. So I don't know if that's bad fuel still in the cylinders, I mean in the injectors, or something else. So I went ahead and pulled all the plugs, and as you can see, they don't look too bad. And I did check the resistance across them. They're all around 5,000 to 7,000 ohms, so that's okay. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna clean all these off, all the electrodes off, see if maybe it's gummed up from that bad fuel that was in there. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just check the resistances on all the wires. They all look good, so I don't think I'll find a problem there. But let me clean up all these plugs, reinstall them, and see how it runs after that. There you go. Yep, it's very smooth now. Oh, it sounds good. Sounds really, really good. So at this point, the car was running well enough for me to try and take it around the block because I wanted to drive it. So I got my tires off, headed out to J&J. Shout out to them for once again just great service, always fast, always reliable. They got my tires on, and I decided to put the rest of the car back together to get it around the block for the first time, moving under its own power since 2008. right, everybody, it's late and I'm finally done. So let's recap. I'll show you everything I did to it to get that thing running. It still has issues that I still need to figure out. It has a little bit of a rough running, but I think I mentioned it earlier that I'm gonna let that fuel injection cleaner go through the fuel system. Please don't mind my mess over here. Go through the fuel system and see if it cleans it up. If not, I'm gonna take those injectors off, put new plugs in it, because I just did wires. But let me show you what I did. What I had to do is I ohmed out those old wires that it had. Some of them had really high resistance, so luckily I had a set of these in my hoard for the longest time. Decided to throw them on there. I went around the block and I noticed that it's leaking coolant out of the radiator, so that's something that has to be addressed. In the back over here, I finally got this to latch correctly, and what was missing was this striker, it's like a sleeve or a bushing. So I adjusted the latch. Boom, working good. And also I got brand new used tires all the way around from the interwebs. Well, anyways, guys, it's done. It's idling, and the idle is improving little by little, so maybe that fuel injection cleaner is doing its job. But all in all, it's not bad. Pretty decent. I did a lot of work to it, and I still need to do more because the radiator's leaking. But look, it's running. That was our goal. So as soon as I get the radiator in this, I'm gonna take it for a really long road test because it hasn't seen the road since 2008. So, you know, I'm gonna stretch its legs, you know, get it working, to see what else is gonna break, because you know it's an old car. So something else might break. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me. I'll catch you guys on the next one.